Today's Bears mock draft is sponsored by Manscaped. They have launched the all-new and improved Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. We're going to tell you all about that later on in the show. Get going with Manscaped, manscaped.com, promo code BEARS20 for the best, promo code BEARS20 for the best men's grooming products available for 20% off. All right, I'm Harrison Graham, Bears mock draft 4.0. I'm going to try and keep track of every mock draft I do this year. This is the fourth one. Yeah, fourth one by week 9. It's a tough look for the Bears, but that's where we're at. And this one, of course, is a post-NFL trade deadline mock. And I think it's relevant because obviously the Bears did trade their second-round pick for Montez Sweat. Don't have that pick. Also add an edge. So, you don't necessarily have to go edge super early in this draft. Doesn't mean you can't. You could still use some defensive line help. But before we get into this mock, because this is becoming more of a debate in NFL draft circles, pick a quarterback. You get the number one pick, which the Bears don't have right now. They have 2 and 3. You get the number one pick. Who you taking? Type CW for Caleb Williams, DM for Drake Maye. This will be the pinned comment on today's show, so I'm just curious who you guys would draft at the top of this draft. CW for Caleb Williams, DM for Drake Maye, and this is in a scenario where you're drafting a quarterback, obviously. Let us know who you guys would rather have. And I'm seeing some JF comments. I'm saying if you draft a quarterback, well, I've been on record. If the Bears get a top 2 pick, I do believe they will draft a quarterback. And in this mock draft simulator with Pro Football Focus, Caleb Williams went number 1 overall. So I got Drake Maye with the number 2 overall pick, the quarterback out of North Carolina. Producer Roley is popping champagne as he produces this video. You take a look at the stat comparisons between these two guys this year. You're not going to find a ton of differences. And quite frankly, I think the accuracy is probably more even than it looks. North Carolina, especially the last 2 weeks, I think you're talking about 10-plus drops in their 2 losses against Virginia and Georgia Tech. Yardage is pretty similar. Caleb Williams has more volume on touchdowns there, obviously, but Drake Maye has actually been the more opportunistic runner this year. And I think what's interesting is Dane Brugler, who, look, there's a lot of great NFL draft analysts out there, and I'm not saying Brugler is leaps and bounds better than everybody else. I really like his stuff, though. I like his analysis. I think it's noteworthy that he has had Drake Maye leapfrog Caleb Williams on his latest big board. Like, that feels meaningful to me. He's pretty tapped in. So it feels neck and neck, and this is going to be a discussion between now and April's draft. So obviously the Bears could be big players in the quarterback draft rankings this year. So I don't mind a scenario where I get Drake Maye if I am Chicago. So I get him number 2 overall. Trade alert. I'm going to trade the number 3 pick. Yes, I could go Marvin Harrison Jr. here, absolutely, and that would be fine. But I really got a nice offer here from the New England Patriots. They move up from 5 to 3, so I get 5. I also get their 3rd-round pick, 69 overall, very nice, I might say, and their 1st-round pick next year, just to drop 2 spots. They get the 3rd pick. They also get back a 4th-round pick, that pick from the Eagles that you got when you traded down 1 spot when you drafted Darnell Wright a year ago. So a lot of moving parts here, moving down a couple of spots, adding a 3rd and a future 1st while shipping out a 4th as well. I get Olu Fashanu, the offensive tackle out of Penn State, and I was kind of playing math here. I'm like, okay, if I move from 3 to 5, yeah, I'm probably losing Marvin Harrison here. But Olu, pretty good chance he's there because Brock Bowers could go 4th. Worst case, I could go Joe Alt, or I could even trade down again. I think Olu with the number 5 overall pick is good value, and obviously, with Braxton Jones, who's been on IR for 5 weeks now with that neck issue, we'll see if he plays this week and starts. You still have questions at left tackle. If you're Braxton Jones, you got to be chomping at the bit to get back onto the playing field and show what you can be, because if there's any doubt in Ryan Poles' mind that he can be the long-term answer at left tackle, he's going to heavily consider getting one in this draft because there's 2 really good ones in the top 10. With Olu Fashanu and Joe Alt out of Notre Dame. So I want to see Braxton Jones get back on the field, see what he can do. If you do draft a left tackle, good news is Braxton can be an excellent swing tackle in my opinion. But look, in a perfect world, Braxton Jones is your guy, and you go in a different direction. But at the same time, if you think Olu Fashanu is a 10-year starting left tackle, that's going to be tough to pass on if you're Ryan Poles. Oh, man, this is going to catch people's attention. So, again, the Bears do not have a second-round pick after the Montez Sweat trade. And, again, when I do these mocks, it's a combination of what I would do, but also where I think the Bears are as a team. And if you're drafting Drake Maye, then you're moving on from Justin Fields. That's just logic. I'm not saying it's going to play out that way. I'm not even saying I want it to play out that way. But if I'm taking Drake Maye or Caleb Williams, then I'm trying to get something for Justin Fields. I don't need to keep him as a backup. That just doesn't make sense for him or for the team or for the quarterback you're drafting. Why create that controversy? So if I can get a second and a fourth from Atlanta, because I don't think you're getting a first based on what we know right now, that's something I'm considering. And disclaimer, I'm rooting for Justin Fields. You guys know me. To a fault at times, I will gladly admit I have believed in this guy to be the franchise QB in Chicago, and I think he has been screwed in a lot of ways. I don't think the timeline has added up where the prior regime drafted him, then they got fired, new coaching staff doesn't fit him, they rebuild the roster. I don't think it's been fair. But sometimes life isn't fair, and again, if Ryan Poles gets a top 2 pick, he's almost certainly going to draft a quarterback. So I just want to get that disclaimer out there. And that's my theory. I think the Bears have likely moved on. I've thought this for a little while. I don't know the severity of the thumb injury, but it doesn't seem like there's any urgency to get him back onto the field, even though Tyson Bagent showed his limitations in this last game. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know, but I just get the feeling that the Bears have almost completely made the decision, with the one drawback being, well, if we don't get a top 2 pick, then maybe we won't draft a quarterback. But there's a good chance they're going to get a top 2 pick. So I want to ask you guys, will the Bears trade Justin Fields this offseason? Type T for trade, or if you think they'll keep him, type K for keep. Get your votes in the comment section. If you get a top 2 pick, I'd say there's a great chance they're trading Justin Fields. So what say you? So with the number 51 overall selection, I'm going to add a receiver since I didn't get Marvin Harrison in the first round. Ja'Lynn Polk, the wide receiver out of Washington. I don't know if y'all have watched the Huskies play this year, but they've got 3 really good receivers, and Polk is one of them. He's been a big play machine for Michael Penix Jr. this year. 46 catches, 836 yards for the Huskies, 7 touchdowns, averaging over 18 yards per catch. He's been terrific, and I think he's, right in that top 50 range for where he could go in this NFL draft. Is he a plug-and-play number 2 receiver from day one? I think he's got that talent and potential. It's obviously asking a lot out of a rookie, but 6'2", 205, he's got good size. He can stretch the field. I do think you need to draft a receiver early, even if you bring back Darnell Mooney. I think you need to bring one in here. Obviously, we all want Marvin Harrison, right? I think he's the best player in this draft. But I thought the trade proposal from New England was too good to pass up, which is why I took it in this draft. So you get one on day 2 here after trading Justin Fields for a second and a fourth to Atlanta, and that's the way that goes. Again, for the millionth time, I'm rooting for Justin Fields, but if you're drafting a quarterback, there's really not a place for him on this team. Today's show sponsored by Manscaped. Guys, I just can't tell you how impressed I am with what Manscaped continues to do. They just upgrade. They don't rest on their laurels, which is what I hope the Bears are doing as a franchise. You're always looking to improve, and they have improved the lawnmower product year after year. It is now the 5.0 Ultra, and listen, every man knows how scary it can be when going for a close shave below the belt. That's why I trust Manscaped. That's why I trust the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. This 5th generation trimmer features 2 interchangeable next-gen skin-safe blade heads, a standard one for taking a little off the top, and a new foil blade to go smooth wherever your heart desires. This product also has 2 LED lights, and guess what? It's always been water resistant, the lawnmower. Now it is waterproof. You can fire away in the bath and the shower with no concerns whatsoever. The wireless charging system is still in place. That's a feature that has not gone away. Use promo code BEARS20 at manscaped.com to get the all-new and improved Lawnmower 5.0. I had my birthday recently. I pulled this bad boy out. You know what happens after that. Manscaped.com, promo code BEARS20. Get 20% off the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra and all of their men's grooming products. Next up, round 3, pick 67. You guessed it, Sedrick Van Pran. Listen, I am going to continue to draft this guy if he is available in these mock drafts. I will leave no stone unturned if Sedrick Van Pran is available, especially in round 3. I'd be cool taking him in the second round, but he's just consistent. He's athletic. PFF's grading him very highly. No sacks allowed this year. He's a good pass protector. He's good in the run game. He can get on the move. You need stability at that position, man. I can't do the Lucas Patrick, Cody Whitehair thing anymore. I'm just done with it. You have not had stability at the center position in years. I mean, it's embarrassing, quite frankly, how bad the center play has been in Chicago. And I'm not saying Sedrick Van Pran is a sure thing and would come in and be a top 10 center right away. What I am saying is he's the best center in this draft. He fits the athletic profile of what this team likes to do offensively, so there's really no downside to taking him. You got to figure something out at center. Don't miss out. If you want more Bears draft coverage, prove it to us. Hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications. We can track how many new subscribers we get on each video. So if we get a bunch of new ones, that means we know you're enjoying the coverage. So subscribe today. It's 100% free. Let's go to the defensive line here. Remember, made that trade with the Patriots, so get an extra third-round pick here. Jack Sawyer, the edge out of Ohio State. He's never quite reached his potential, in my opinion. The stats aren't overwhelming, but he's a leader on that Buckeyes defense. He fits the mold of a good edge rusher in the NFL, 6'4", about 260. He's got the size. He's got the play style. He's a gritty player for the Buckeyes. I like his leadership skills, so I'm definitely not as high on him as I am JT Tuimoloau for Ohio State, but I think in the third round, the value is certainly there. We'll go a little rapid fire here on these 4th and 5th round picks. Just a 5-round mock today. Bo Braid, the safety out of Maryland, kind of a hybrid. He can play free or strong safety, has good enough coverage skills. I think he comes in right away, can be a number 3 safety, special teamer, and check in certain nickel packages. So get him there. There's some questions with Eddie Jackson moving forward. I have concerns about Jaquan Brisker with his concussion history, so I think adding a safety is going to make sense in this draft. Tyler Davis, the defensive tackle out of Clemson, I think I've taken him a couple of times now. I think you got to beef up that interior. Obviously, the Bears extended Andrew Billings, so he's going to be back. Where are Javon Dexter and Zach Pickens at in this offseason? Can they show they can take that next step? We'll see, but I think drafting a guy like Tyler Davis early day 3 could make sense. And then Cade Stover, the tight end out of Ohio State, I think I've snagged him a couple of times too. Having a really nice year. Been a security blanket for Kyle McCord, the Ohio State quarterback. Has over 400 yards and has been a red zone threat as well. I think, the tight end position's an underrated one of what you need because, sure, you extended Cole Kmet. He's going to be here for a while, but Robert Tonyan and Mercedes Lewis both on one-year deals. Chances are at least one of those guys are gone, if not both. So drafting a tight end could make some sense. All right, guys, there you have it. Grade this Bears mock draft. Remember, I got that future first as well in that trade down, A, B, C, D, or F. We'll continue to plug out draft videos if you guys want them, so be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're having a lot of fun doing these mocks. If you guys are tired of them, let us know in the chat. Maybe we'll do a live mock draft soon. The thought was doing that during the bye week. Maybe we do it during the mini bye week after the Carolina game here in a week or so. So stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for all of our Bears content.